to your work because you have a popular morning show.
Yes.
So when you got taken and now you've got all these life decisions to make.
Well, Tommy was my go-to. Yeah. Obviously, he was the one I talked to like almost whenever I could make a phone call. I would talk to Tommy. We'd talk about the show. I said, hey, just say it's family issues that I have going on. And then he's like, well, what are you going to do when you come back? Are you going to say where you were? And I said,
you left in the middle of the night pretty much.
I left in...
Like you were gone.
I was gone.
Yeah.
I was just like off the air, gone.
Right.
And,
well, I remember when I tuned into the show, that day, I think I emailed Tommy, and I said, where's Laura? And he said, she'll tell you when she returns. Mm-hmm. Because I was, they had said something like, Laura's going to be out for a while, mm-hmm. and I was immediately concerned.
Yeah.
And I remember him responding, and he said, she'll tell you when she returns.
Yeah, they were very respectful about that.
They were very, very respectful.
They guarded you, I remember.
They really did, and I will never, ever forget that, ever. And then Tommy, he came up to Hazelden once with my best friend Stacy, and he brought me gummy bears. I remember that. Yeah. That was awesome. And just seeing him and just seeing like part of my family, my other family, and then of course Stacy, that was just so great. But that was like an uplifting moment, like a push, like, okay, I can do this.
You can do it.
And
right.
Stacy, she flew down with me from Oregon to Newport, and she walked me in and checked me in and did the whole thing. And oh God, that night I was by myself. We were in these like little apartments that were in Newport Beach, kind of like walking distance to the beach. It was really actually kind of cool. But crying and crying because I was just so scared because the lady downstairs was drunk.
Oh no.
And I'm like, what is happening? I don't like this. This is scary. Oh God, I forgot to tell you about something really horrible that happened when I was at Hazelden. The last night I was there, we had a party at one of the girls who lived off campus. And she came running into the room. She goes, Susie killed herself. This is someone we were in rehab with, who was only there for 30 days. No, she was there for 3 months. She got on the plane, started drinking. Checked into a hotel, shot herself.
Oh my God.
She had 3 little kids. That scared. We were all hugging each other, and it was so frightening because it's like, oh my God, this is so real. This is a real scary thing that we all have.
Did you have any indication when you were around her that could have been an option for her?
Not at all. In fact, she gave me like some really good advice, and she was like, you can do this, and I'm so happy I'm going home to my kids. We're going to Disneyland.
3 months,
and then boom.
Wow.
Literally boom.
Well, I did, I was watching something, I think it was a documentary on Netflix, and they were talking about that, and they said some people, just with the personalities that they have, if they falling off the wagon or relapsing is such a horrible thing that they're like, it's just going to be a repeating cycle. I'll never be able to get sober. Mm-hmm. Ever. Mm-hmm. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, just from as long as I've known you, you're never sober. You're in recovery, mm-hmm. But you're technically never, even though you are
right. Like
it's not like all of a sudden you're better.
No, that's why people with 32 years of sobriety still go to meetings. Mm-hmm. Like my mom kind of freaks out when I say, "Hey, I want to go to a meeting around Chikukamau." I go, "Why? Is it because I'm having wine?" I'm like, "No, Mom. It's just it's just like
the comfort. That's a word
that I'm just being with my people.
Yeah,
you can just breathe. Right.
It's
with any addiction,
mm-hmm.
but with any addiction, if it's a food addiction or if it's anything to that nature where it's now changed your life or it's controlling you instead of you controlling it.
Yes. Well, it was really funny because when you got back and we were going out to dinners and stuff like that, if anybody around Laura, if there were had a drink, I was like, no. I was like, no. And you're like, you had to pull me aside and say, it's okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'm not freaked out by it. And I was like, no, but
we
were so protective that we were like,
how dare them?
Yeah.
Like, how dare them?
Oh my gosh, you guys.
But our love for you and watching you at your lowest to like pulling yourself out, they didn't see that. Like
Right.
I knew Tommy had gone up there. I knew that Stacy had gone and checked you in Newport. We knew that journey. We knew that you were taken from the night. We knew this part of that. So when we would sit down, and there would be alcohol at the table. I mean, we were just
I would lose my
Shake-
mind.
Oh.
That is not acceptable. But it was just, it was that.
And to this day, it
protectiveness.
happens.
I know
Yeah.
you. Well, I'll get to
Yeah.
my current situation in a minute.
To this day, I feel I don't like it. I'm like,
I
do
know.
you mind?
I know.
She's our friend.
I
Get
know.
out of here.
I know. Well, okay, so for 2 months I was there, and a friend brought up the kids because my husband, like I said, was furious, didn't want anything to do with me.
And almost no longer.
It was
a
like we were. Well, I found out
Was
when I got out that he had filed for separation, but I'll get to that in a minute. So I said I had nowhere to live. Oh, and he cut me out of the bank account too. So I had no bank account. I had no money. I had nowhere to live. And so I said, Tommy, is it possible I can live in one of your rooms? Because he had this real nice house in Rancho Penasquitos. Until I figure out where you're going. I need to get some money for a down deposit, like I just don't know. And he's like, stop. Of course you can live with me. I'm giving you my room. He gave me his like big
Master
suite,
bedroom upstairs.
and it had this like awesome shower. I'm like, what? He slept on a couch, hugging a pillow for 6 months. 6 months. And in that 6 months, I found out, and I don't know if this is, well, let me back
your
up.
life changed drastically
back up.
at that point.
2 days after I got back, I had gone on the air. I read a letter. It was really special. I felt so loved. It was so amazing. And I wanted to see Evan really bad because I knew Charlie was at school. And Evan was with the nanny at my house. Well, I get home and I discover that somebody else was occupying my spot in my bed, so to speak. And again, let me just back it up and say, I probably would have done the same thing, because he needed support as well. And he found it in someone else, and that's okay. But
and in his mind, you're separated. And
he's
exactly. He's
exactly.
leaving, you're leaving. It's done.
But I'm like, this is my house. These are do you see my clothes? They're in my closet.
Yeah.
This is my dresser you're sleeping next to with my husband. I was so angry. But so we went through all divorce, and oh God, it got so ugly. Divorce is that will take you down. It's taken a lot of my friends down, actually, my sober friends. Divorce, because it is just nasty, it is ugly, and it's cruel.
But as outsiders, I felt yours was unjust. There were so many times you would come out, right, and we would think, how is that possible? Like,
I was trying to stick it to me. I think
constantly. It was every single time you'd come out, and I'm like, she can't catch a break.
But you know what? I'm thankful in a way because you said it was my kids that kept me sober. Yeah, and I was like, I will never relapse. I will never drink again because of him.
Right.
Yeah.
They are not going to win.
No, you said that. I remember you say that to us crying.
And
you'd say, he's not. He's not going to win.
Because I knew at that time, not at the present moment, but at that time that was so crazy, I think they wanted me to. That's the way I felt anyway.
Yeah, we thought the same thing.
Well, and also when you come out of something like that, like we said before, I think your mindset is there's not, other than probably my mother or my sister or whatever, there's not going to be a whole lot of people that are going to be on my side. They're going to think that I'm selfish, that I'm a terrible mother, that I was a terrible wife, that I was a terrible friend.
And I was.
And, well...
to some extent. But yes, you're right.
Right. But then, to find out how much love was actually supporting you and present must have been a great...
It really was. I mean, obviously, it carried me through.
Yeah.
It carried me through.
Well, and I remember knowing you before and after. And I remember seeing the person I saw with the addiction and after, the happiness that you had,
Mm-hmm.
like the genuine smile, and you lit up, and I thought, that burden you were carrying before.
Oh my
was
gosh.
so big.
It's this big sack of lies. And just,
Well,
and it was in a vortex. Like you could just, I was screaming inside my head,
Yeah.
help me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
so,
just saw, and you had that energy of peace, and I remember thinking, and I loved you before and after. I didn't care, but I knew that you were the strength that we saw in you that you didn't even know you had in you. That's what was so
oh
impressive.
my gosh.
Well, and
Yeah.
you know, too, it is very true. I think what people say is to live kind of a double life and to have to lie, to have I don't even know how you'd remember everything. You know, I mean, because
It was so impactful, I guess. Yeah.
well, yeah, you know, and I mean, like with me, I'm a horrible liar, so it's just easier to tell the truth than if somebody gets mad because you
are a
said
horrible
something
liar.
true.
Yes.
I am. I'm a terrible liar. I mean, I can't lie to save my life, and so you know, it's. I think it's a testament to you that you came out and through it and
Still-
saw all that support
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I think I should get to my recovery and how amazing it is. What you said, Linda, is what I remember my first meeting I went to in San Diego. They said, do you want what we have? And what they had was peace
Yeah.
and that glow
Yeah.
and that twinkle in their eye that I had completely lost, but was getting back.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what you saw was like sobriety and joy and peace. I remember just dying.
Oh.
I wanted peace so bad. I was in such turmoil. And when I let go and let God, it
And you
happened.
really did.
And like that's the first step. I admitted to myself that I was powerless over alcohol and that my life had become unmanageable. And oh, did it ever.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, am I ever. I'm powerless over alcohol. That's why I will never take a sip or have one glass of wine because I will end up with that light bulb back in my mouth again.
Right. And I
Chances
remember
are.
when you first came out, people
I don't
would
know.
challenge you on that. They'd go, "Are you going to do it? Are you going to drink?" I remember that I'd be around you, or you would be around her, and that question would come up.
I remember asking a friend of mine who was going through AA, was going through
That place,
yeah. Anyway, who I was questioning her. I'm like, can't you just have one drink? Like,
Yeah.
come on. We're up here. We're in New Orleans. Let's have a drink. What are you talking about? You're going to a meeting. What even is that? You know? So I understand why people chide you sometimes.
Right. And I remember hearing it, but I remember you had this little chase in your little house, and you had and
Yes.
that's where you had the most peace. Because I had come over to your place and we started doing your hair.
Yes.
And
Oh my gosh.
you would just the serenity and the calmness and
It was
You would
so
sleep
good.
in that all the time.
all the
I
time.
would sleep in that all the time. That was why did I get rid of that couch?
I don't
Dang
know.
it! I know it was the best nap
They
couch
had
in the world.
well, not only that, you had memories and like it was your safety.
Yes, that's when I lived. That was when I had moved out of Tommy's house 6 months after I got sober, and he got sober.
Within like a month or two after.
Well, yeah, he's always mad about that.
Yeah.
I have more than him.
But and he did it on his
I
own
mean,
by
in his
watching
funny
you
way.
because I have to say this in preface it of the lifestyle that you led. Yes, you were an alcoholic, and you're an addict, but you lived a lifestyle that was kind of thrown at you, and that baller, and I don't think people realized having that #1 radio show, what came with it.
Yeah, and like sometimes coming home and saying, "Why did I give that up on the radio? Why did I say that?" And
We used to go to like events at night, remember, and all
oh,
this
yeah.
stuff. I mean, it was morning to
and
night,
true,
morning to night.
you're right. Back, yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely was. And
And then, so when I would meet Tommy, and he would have the dark glasses, like I said, and he would still smell from the party from the night
Yeah.
before. So when he did it on his own, like
he did it.
him.
I know he did. Well, he went to an institution as well,
Oh.
but he didn't go to an inpatient.
Like,
he did
no,
outpatient,
that's what I mean. He
which
did.
is just a testament to him that that's all he needed. Was that 30 days or 28 days, however long it was,
Yeah.
and he's been good ever since. And
Yeah.
because I think I remember he had a party. This is when he was still drinking, and he got so ugly. it was, I had to take his kids to their mom's house. I mean, it was